Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 15th, tax day, right? And today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVDY, Misty, AMZY, Platey, and SMCY. Also, I decided I'm also going to update you guys on some of my options trades that I did yesterday. I may make this a trend on the daily video. Not sure yet. I'll let you guys decide via feedback on the comments. If you like to hear the updates to my options trades, let me know in the comments. All right, that being said, let's get to it. So, as you know, we always start with Misty because Misty be the GOAT. Now, I don't know if you remember, but on Saturday, I think I mentioned there was some confusion on the trades. And yesterday kind of, finalized that. So they did some buy to close transactions that I had to update. So they closed at 305, right? They closed at 305 and they closed at 305, right? But on my spreadsheet, it was not there. Well, at least part of it was. So I think it was closed, I don't know, maybe on an earlier date. But whatever, it doesn't matter. At this point, it's a foregone conclusion. But now, after I do today's video, obviously everything will be up to speed, up to date. Of course, outside of the credit call spreads, I have an issue with those, slight out of balance. But I know you guys probably don't give a crap what I'm talking about right now, but I just wanted to mention that in case anyone is poking, in the details. So let's just get to it. But since we're here, basically what happened yesterday is they had a 305, 2% in the money, and they closed it yesterday. So they lost money, obviously $15.33 per share. There's a lot of time value left because these contracts, they expire Thursday, and yesterday was Monday. So, and then you had the gap of the 2%, right? Or 311 minus 305 was that essentially like $6. So $6 plus time value. Obviously, it probably was a little further in the money when they closed it. This is just showing the stock price as of the close. But regardless, they haven't been closing out trades early for a loss, but yesterday they did. So that may or may not have been a great decision. We just don't know. So they closed out the 305. They rolled it up to a 317.50 strike price, which is actually only 1.94% out of the money. So it's not like they gave themselves much wiggle room, so I don't know. And then same thing down here, 317.50. So you would think they'd put it up a little higher, but they did get a freaking boatload of premium on that. But again, it offset the freaking loss. Like there's a lot, they lost 9 mil, they made 5 mil. They lost 11 mil, they made 6 mil. So I don't know, whatever. Anyway, let's get to the file. All right, so synthetic-wise, they didn't touch anything. So quick update on the synthetics. They have a synthetic 330. Real quick, all of them expire May 16th, so let's get that out of the way. The synthetic 330, MSTR is at 311, so they're playing catch-up to that, 5% away from that. Synthetic 290, that one's in a profit. It's 7.4% above the current price. Below the current price, technically. If the strike's below the current price, then the long call is making money. And then the 270, 15% above, that's good. 260, 19% above. So again, 3 of the 4 synthetics are doing freaking awesome. And the other one, it's looking good. Like things are looking green lately. Don't want to jinx it and all, but things are looking pretty good. All right, so yesterday was what? The 14th, right? 14th. Hooray, right? MSTR, it went up. Hallelujah. Right? We like up. Up is good. Your favorite movie, right? We had that up, the picture of the guy. There's the trivia answer. I don't think anyone answered it, by the way. But anyway, they went up 3.82%. Misty went up 3.57%. So essentially almost all the way, which is awesome. Now, if we go to the trades here, you can kind of see the 305. All I really had was 8,225 contracts. But whatever, I had a 305. I closed here, which, again, very confusing. I tried to go back and correct it, but in summary, let's move on and go from there. So anyway, the new trades, here we go, 14th. All right. 7,500 contracts. They added these suckers, 317.50. And then they added 76.05. No buy call attached to it. No credit call spread. Okay. But again, we said it's 1.94% out of the money. And just some amazing premium. $7.19 per share. $8.30. Like, this is some sick premium. But again, it's close. It's close to the money. So that's the risk you take. But the recap is on the holdings. If we go, again, it's easier to read it from here. Zoom out. Oh my God. Sorry. Trying to get this all on the same screen. All right. So, yeah, man. Skidoo. All right. So you see the 305. All of them are gone. So the next lowest is a 310 strike. That's in the money. That's only 0.47% in the money. Yeah, so no reason to close that. Let it ride, right? Let it ride. And then they got what? 8,000. I'm sorry. 312.50. I'm not reading contracts right now. 312.50 is the next one up. 317.50, 325, 330, 332.50, 340. And then way down there, they got a 370. So again, they're still scattered-y-do, but if MSTR continues to go up this week, yeah, they're going to lose, some money overall in the trades if they close them out, like the individual trades. Obviously, the 310, if it's in the money and they close it, yeah, they're going to lose. They're going to pay more to close it than what they got to open it. But it is what it is, man. We'll see how these things go. Today's what, Tuesday? Market closes for the week on Thursday because, again, Friday is Good Friday. It's a holiday. The market is closed. Even though most of us are working, the market is closed. Schools closed. Schools closed the next, week, at least here. So, spring break, which, most jobs don't give a crap about. And they don't give you, a lot of the holidays that, that teachers have the luxury of. But it sucks for the parents too that both parents work, right? And that we battled that for years. It's like you alternate taking off the holidays that you don't get that the teachers get, But anyway, enough. That's a whole nother freaking discussion for another day. I can go on and on. But here we go. Outstanding shares increase 1.2 mil. I mean, what? 1.2 mil. That's huge, but it's not even 1%. So again, this fund is getting really, really large. Here's the recap on the top. 30-day IV, it's coming down. Things are kind of stabilizing, I guess. I like the IV I like my IV over 100. But hey, we'll take 83%. That's pretty good. Outstanding shares, 127 mil. Total net income, 22.3 mil. That's pretty good, right? Total distribution, 18 cents so far. That's a daily income of 3 cents, a daily yield of 0.14%. And if you annualize that, sucker, 51%. It's good. Good enough, Reaction, I don't know why I was thinking about this, but, you get the question a lot. If you were me today, would you invest in Misty for the long term? Or are you going to hold Misty for the long term? And this is not even just about Misty. It's about every fund. Like, what fund would you invest in? I mean, guys, nobody can answer that. So, you should not ask people that, because everyone's different, every situation, because there's so many follow-up questions that go with it. It's not like I don't want to answer that question, but there's so many follow-up questions that happen to go with it. But again, if you're investing in a fund like Misty, what's going to happen in the future? Here's my answer. Who the hell knows? But I'm on the road. I'm with the journey. What's at the end of this road? Who the hell knows? Could be good. Could be bad. Could be a $4 distribution at some point. Could be 50 cents. Could be reverse split. Could be a $40 price again. We don't know. What's Bitcoin going to do? I don't know, right? What's MSTR as a company going to do? I don't know. Are they going to screw something up? Who the hell knows, right? Nobody knows. That's the point. Nobody knows. Anyway, Group D declares in 22 days on May 7th. All right, let's look at the payment information. Synthetic income, no change from the day prior. Short call income, they got about 22.3 mil. We kind of talked about that. So if we look at that, that produces about 18 cents per share. And throw that in the Rotomator, that would come to about 82 cents, which is a 52% yield, if all things being equal. However, that seems too low. So we will look at the IV. The IV is 84%. So the next payment could be around $1.33. Again, way too early to talk about this, but it is always fun to get an idea in advance. Because Misty, some of us are living off of Misty, right? Misty pays a lot of my bills, that is for sure. But, I'm still working too. All right. So synthetic-wise, yeah, they got 4 synthetics, 4 freaking synthetics. A 260, a 270, 290, 330. Is the 330 a gold digger? No. I got a good feeling lately that things are on the up and up. Finally, right? It just feels that way. Watch, jinx the whole thing. And again, look at the cash, man. 45% of the position. $1.2 billion in cash. We should just monitor that, right? Monitor that as we go. They're probably required because this freaking stock is so volatile to hold, all that cash. Anyway, the value of this fund is 2.6 bill. I mean, it's going to be 3 billion soon, so that's just think about that. That's freaking insane. The NAV is 2057 and the trade price is 2059. All right, synthetic wise, are they making money? Yes. Again, three of the four, if I could talk, is in a good position. And that comes to about $1.41 per share. If they sold everything right now, they'd produce essentially $1.41 per share, right? As a realized income, which is good, right? It's really good. But again, we don't know what's going to happen. It could freaking tank today and then it's gone. So that really doesn't really matter too much. As far as the contracts go, yeah, this is still not 100% accurate, but I will update that when I get it, when I'm certain with it. But again, the point of that is to see how many credit call spreads we have. It used to be 100% credit call spreads. Now it's about 50% essentially. So that is quite interesting that they did change with the times. Because again, these funds are actively managed. They charge us a percent, 0.99%, which to the outside world looking in is completely ridiculous, right? In their eyes, but they're not used to a fund like this, an options fund where they're trading freaking options every single day. Like you see their intraday trades, here they are. TSLY again, every day, NVIDIA every day. Not, obviously they could skip a day here and there, but very, very active. So, that's why they charge what they charge, because we have full-time jobs. We don't have time to do all this research, to play around like this with the numbers. So that's why we would pay a fund manager to do it for us. Makes sense? Great. Wonderful. All right. So here's TSLY. So if we look at TSLY, what happened with them? Buy call, sell put, sell call, buy call, and then they're buying more calls. Okay, that's quite interesting. So they're adding 650 contracts to their 225 synthetic. That's fine. And then they're selling a call for this week, 260, 250, 4% out of the money. All right, it's a credit call spread. And now what's this? They're buying a call, 295 and 290, 14 to 16% away from the current price. Again, this is like insurance, but insurance they didn't have. I mean, are they expecting Tesla to fly to the moon by Thursday? We have 3 trading days left, and these, again, they shelled out 52,000 and 66,000 for what? We're gonna go above 290, maybe. I don't know. They think so. I don't know. Whatever. Let's go to TSLY files here. Okay, so here are the birds. I love it. I love it, man. It's getting warmer. I think, we have a baseball game tonight, and the weather is actually going to be decent. Finally, man, finally. Only problem going to the office on a baseball day, it's like, you got to leave early, so you hope nothing comes up. And all right, Tesla, how'd they do yesterday? Well, really, they didn't do anything. They went up 0.02%. TSLY went up 0.84%. So again, awesome. They beat the underlying. And guess what? You look at the 7-day, man, they still beat the freaking underlying. Tesla on 7-day movement, it went up 7.55%. TSLY went up 9.1%. So that's pretty nuts. But if you're wondering why Tesla would have beat why TSLY would have beat Tesla, again, if it's a completely flat day for Tesla, and this is again a covered call fund, the time value would have essentially, dwindled down a little, which means it cost a little cheaper to close out the calls, which would have increased our total assets under management, total net asset value, which obviously would increase the price of TSLY, right? And Tesla doesn't have that advantage, right? Tesla is just a stock. There's nothing linked to it. There's no options. So that's why TSLY would have beat Tesla yesterday. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, TSLY they have a synthetic 225. TSLY is at 252. So yeah, kicking ass there. That's awesome. Now here's their calls for this week. They got 4. They got a 260.250, a 265, a 267.50, and a 270. So 4, 5, 6, and about 7% out of the money. Again, not too much wiggle room. But, again, obviously they may see something's in the works. They added to this 290 and 295 long call, but I don't know. Very unusual, too. 650 contracts from the put is down here on the bottom. Don't know why, because it shows like 225.01 for the price of the put, and then down here it shows 225, and I guess that's why it's down there. But because it only has 650. But again, who cares? It's not relevant. But it's just if you're wondering why you see it that way. All right, so TSLY assets under management 930 mil. The NAV is 834. The trade price is 835. Synthetic, we said, is whooping ass. How much? Well, it's about 94 cents per share. That's how much it's worth at the moment. 30-day IV of Tesla is 76%. IV estimate based on that is 49 cents. By the way, they declare tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Income estimate's negative, so we can't really use that. Group A, like we just said, declares tomorrow, April 16th. All right, NVIDIA's next. I believe they also had a trade. If I only had a trade. All right, let's go here. Yep, right there. Buy the close put. Yikes. So, what do they got? They got a 130. That's not good because NVIDIA's at 110. It expired when? Thursday. So they had to close out this sucker, right? Rip that Band-Aid off. Ouch! Right? That sucker hurt. $118 million loss on that. Wow. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Great. Wonderful. So now the new synthetic is a 110. That's essentially at the money, which is good. All right, we like at the money. Starting point, at least. And then it expires next month, unfortunately. Again, I don't know why they can't go out further. There are reasons, though. I have asked this question before, and there are reasons. Can't remember the exact explanation, but either way, it is what it is. Hopefully, we can make money at least on this synthetic. Because the market, it hasn't really been in our favor. It's been lately. It's been kind of flat, which is good, but I don't know. We'll see. You would have thought like Nvidia yesterday would have had a super green day based on the tariff news. But it ended up down 0.2%. NVDY actually went up 0.46%. So look at that. Let's look at the 7-day for the hell of it. NVIDIA on the 7-day, though, wow, look at that. It's up 11.81%. NVIDIA captured 9.87%. So again, it did not beat NVIDIA in the 7-day, but it captured 83% of the upside. Okay, so NVIDIA Holdings, yeah, they got two synthetics. They have a 95 and a 110. The 95 is in a great spot because NVIDIA is at 110. And obviously the 110 is at the money, as we said. So here's their covered calls. Again, blue is the sold call, right? The covered call. And in green is the long call, the buy call. The two combined is the credit call spread. All right, so let's see. We got 4 strikes for this week. Again, this week, what is this week? 3 days, 3 trading days. Tick-tock, mother sucker. All right, 114, 115, 116, 117. 2, 3, 4, and 5% out of the money. Are these safe? That's the question, right? Is NVIDIA going to close below the covered call strikes for the week? Nobody knows. But let's let it play out, baby. All right, the value of NVIDIA over a bill. They're in the $1 billion club. Yeah, they've been in it for a while. 1.3 bill. The NAV is 15.29. Trade price 15.30. And I actually got to pee. Mid freaking video, I got to pee. That don't happen often, right? I know you want my pee update. But anyway, synthetic value 98 mil. That's worth $1.15 per share. So yeah, hell yeah. 30-day IV, 54%. It's okay, I guess, for Nvidia, a company like Nvidia, massive company. IV estimate for NVIDIA is 65 cents. Income estimate, of course, it's freaking negative. You saw that synthetic disaster, right? So we won't use that. Group B declares when? Not this week, but next week. 8 days away on April the 23rd. Spring break. Amazon and AMZY. I don't think AMZY had a trade, though, but we will check. All right, so we go from NVIDIA to Misty, and then the next one would be, I believe, SMCY. Yeah, okay. Oh, I hear movement upstairs. All right, so let's talk about AMZY and Amazon. By the way, a lot of these holdings, they shifted down. I believe they added a treasury to the holdings for most of these, to be honest. Okay, anyway, Amazon, how'd they do yesterday? Not good, actually. Wow. Okay, Amazon went down 1.51%. AMZY only went down 0.33%. All right, let's look at their synthetic. They have a synthetic 190 that expires May 16th. It's okay, though. Amazon's at 182. Things look to be okay there. For their call, they only have one call. All eggs in one basket. It's a 190. It's 4.33% out of the money. Again, with 3 trading days with Amazon, that may be okay. Value of the fund, AMZY fund, 231 mil. The NAV is 15.11. Trade price 15.14. Synthetic is in the negative, so we can't reference that. 30-day IV of Amazon is 47%. IV estimate based on that is 56 cents. Income estimate, they did produce 7 cents per share, so at least it's in the positive. And they're part of Group D. They declare in 22 days. Coney didn't have trade, as you saw, either. So let's, that's hard to imagine. I actually have to double check again. It's like, I don't believe it. Yeah, they didn't, man. All right, there's SimC. I apologize to my IT friend. I haven't reached out to you. I know you made this file even prettier. I just haven't had the time to reach out to go over how to do it. I will, though. Sorry. Anyway, Coin, they went up 0.61%. That's fine. Nice slow recovery. Coney went up 1.37%. That's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All right, so what's going on with Coney? Well, they have 3 synthetics. Coin is at 176. Keep that in mind. All right, so they have a 160 synthetic. Check mark. Put the check box in. Go. 185. X box, and then 220. Yeah, double. Yeah, yucky. Kind of gold diggerish, but we won't sing. So if we look at Coney, what do they got? They got 5 strikes prices: 180, 182.50, 185, 187.50, and 190. 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7% out of the money. So they are what? Scattered-doo, right? I mean, it's tight. The lowest strike is tight, but hey, we'll see. We'll see. Let it play out. Don't judge. All right, the value of the fund, 935 mil. The NAV is 731. Trade price is 732. Synthetics in the negative. Can't reference that. 30-day IV of coin is 79%. IV estimate based on that is 45 cents. Income estimates negative. Group C declares in 15 days, April 30th. End of month. All right, up next is your boy, Simy. Simy had a trade. We know that. Okay. My hand. Ow. Poor me, holding a phone. All right. So, here's the, I got to take a sip of water. Crinkle. All right. Here is what Simy did. Now, do you remember that they had you take my money when I'm in need? Yeah, the gold digger has left the building. $57 strike price. Ooh-wee. Look at that. 72% in the money. The stock price of SMCY is $33. They had to put for $57 freaking dollars. Are you kidding me? All right. So what's the gap? 57 minus 33, $24, right? All right. They paid actually a little less. Okay. Again, we don't know what the time when they closed it, but either way, that's an ouchie. We knew it was coming. So we paid our gold digger, hot ass gold digger, completely out of our league. She left us and she took 78 mil. Oof. Bye-bye. What's she going to buy with that? I don't know. Hopefully she's smart. Is she going to be smart? Probably not. Anyway, so moving on from the 57, what did they do? Don't worry. They put all those contracts, 33,836 of them into 35. 35 is approximately 5% away from the current price. So essentially it's at the money. So it's all good. So what's the moral of the story on Simy? Oh, she's a gold digger. Way of time. All right. Let's get to the file. Back to serious business. We're all serious here. We don't mess around. SMCY, they went down 0.09%. Nice flat day. We like that, man. Simy, they went up 0.6%. Double noise. Yeah, boy. All right. So now Simy, Simy, our boy, one synthetic. We like it, man. We like it. 35. Again, SMCI is at 33. So it's right there. And it expires May, right? Yeah, May 16th. So good. Let's let it do its thing. All right, now as far as the covered calls, what do we got? We got a 35.50 and we got a 36. 7 and 8% out of the money. Positioned pretty well. So we'll see how the week progresses. We'll go from there. The value of the fund, 120 mil. The NAV is 1846. Trade price, 1838. Synthetics, negative. Can't use that. 30-day IV. I'm loving it. 101%, man. You gotta freaking love it. I mean, that's amazing. That is like, do you know how much premium you get paid for the money when you have 101% IV? Could you imagine a double leverage fund on SMCI? Yeah, they're out there. So that's 200% IV. 200, double the risk. Anyway, IV estimate is what? $1.43. Income estimate's negative, and Group D declares when? Far away, 22 days, May 7th. Up next is your boy Platey. Hi Platey. Shifting back and forth. Sorry, here we go. All right, pretty straightforward action here. Buy, call, she'll put, adding $200 to $500 synthetic, $80, and then they're selling a call, 90 above, 5% out of the money. Okay, whatever, fine. Let's go to the files. The Platey files, all right? We know what's going on here. Let's see, Plantier. Oh, we don't like this. What in the actual? Palantir had a decent day. It went up 4.39%. Platey, what are you doing? Platey only went up 2.53%. This is only a 57% capture. This is some BS. I don't like it. All right, we'll have to see what the calls are doing. First, we'll check out this synthetic. The synthetic is doing well, whooping ass. It's at $80. $80 strike. Palantir's at 92. So as Palantir goes up, regardless of the freaking covered calls, the synthetic will make money. All right? Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Dollars. All right, so they're not in the money, but they are pretty damn close. And it's essentially all their contracts, so that's why you see some cappity-doo-dah there. Cappity-doo-dah. 20,537 contracts of the 21,000 contracts, essentially. 93 strike, 0.41% out of the money. They also have a 98. That's only 500 contracts, though, and that's 5% out of the money. So Palantir, again, for maximum income, we kind of just wanted to chill. Just chill. Just stay flat. Don't even move today. The value of the Platey fund is 194 mil. The NAV is 59.03. Trade price 58.55. Now, we said, all right, the covered calls got cappity-doo-dah, but look at the synthetic-y-doo-dah. Right now, it's worth $8.21 per share. If they cash this baby out now, oh, man. I keep telling you, man, Platey's going to pay us $5. $5 a month forever. $5. At least $5. That's how I feel. I don't know how you guys feel. But again, the price is close to the launch price. So you got to keep that in mind. So, but let's see what the IV is telling us. The IV is 92%. That's freaking awesome. The IV estimate, again, 419. So definitely $5. When do they declare next week? 7 days away. So again, I'm just kind of giving my guesstimate now. $5. Platey, $5. Done. All right, so we're done with Platey. That's the last fund that I cover. Obviously, I'm going to cover my options, but we'll do it after the pre-market data. So let's cover the pre-market data real quick. I'm going to use marketwatch.com because they are the easiest one to use, at least that I know of. The time is 5:11 a.m. I am kicking ass with time, but I did get up at 3 today because I couldn't sleep. So I'll pay for that later for sure because it is a long night tonight. All right, Tesla is up 0.18%, 252.80. TSLY is up 0.36%, 838. Nvidia is up 0.2%, 110.93. NVDY is up 0.52%, 1538. Coney is up 1.1%, 178.52. Coney's up 1.09%, 740. MSTR is up 0.58%, 313.25. MSTY is up 0.58%, 2071. T to the S to the L to the eel, they are up 0.48%, 844. Again, nothing crazy. TNA is actually down. They are down 0.44%. They are 22.52. Again, it's as of 5. Oh, wait. What time did that say? Yeah, that says 5:12. AMZY says 4:51. Why? I don't get it sometimes, but anyway, they're up 0.4%, 1520. Bitcoin, they're still in the 80K range, but they are up 1.22%, 85,935. BitX is, I guess almost double, 2.31%, right? What are they up? Yeah, almost double. 2.31%, 37.63. Soxol's up 1.24%. Again, I can't believe the price of Soxol is just so crazy. They're at 10.60. Hope my work pants fit today. Have not been running still, but whatever. Anyway, SMCY, they're up 0.66%, 33.34. SMCY is up 0.71%, 18.51. Palantir, we said we want you to stay flat, right? Flat. You're not listening. Clearly, they are up 1.17%, 93.70. And Platey is up, wow, holy crap, 2.43%, 59.97. So that's the update on the pre-market. For those of you that want to hear my options trading update, then I will do that right now. For those of you that do not and you're clicking off, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. And hit the like button if you dare. All right, so now we want to talk about options. So it's good. I figured, you know what? It's good to talk about trades as they happen. All right, so as you know, I updated my file. And so I have TSLL. Someone said I never heard of TSLL. Is that a new YieldMax fund? No. It's a 2x leveraged fund of Tesla. So basically, it moves whatever Tesla does 2 times, up or down. It does pay a dividend distribution, but it pays it quarterly, and it doesn't, it's irrelevant, really. The reason I trade it is for the options premium because it's double the leverage. All right. So when we talk about high IVs, if you're wondering what the IV is, we go to the watch list, right? See TSLL, their IV, look at that, 151%. So why do you think I trade TSLL? Because number one, I'm a degenerate, and number two, I love the IV. Just kind of related. But anyway, so TSLL yesterday, they were kind of green. They were at approximately $8.50. And I was looking out, and I'm like, all right, what can I do? I'm going to sell a call. And I did. I sold a covered call, $10 strike price. Can I zoom in? Yeah, that's as far as I can go. I did a $10 strike price. At the time, 17.65% out of the money. All right. The price did close at 8.40, so now I'm 19% of the money, so that's good. So the delta on that was 8.18, again, under 20. I want to stay under 20. Preferably close to 10, but when I looked near 10, there was not much premium being paid. So, I am still a greedy bastard, so I do have limits. But again, I'm trying to find the equal fair range, but the delta is between 10 and 20. Again, only because I'm way underwater. My cost basis is horrible on TSLL. So I actually do not want to get assigned on the call. All right, what kind of premium did I get? I did get 12 cents per share. That pays a whopping $12. I know, $12, what a joke. But again, it adds up, right? You have to, one thing at a time. And the annualized yield on that is 118%. All right, so later on, TSLL was coming down a little bit. So I said, you know what? I'm going to sell a put. Why the hell not, right? I'm going to sell a put, and I'm going to do a $7 put, and that was 15% out of the money. All right. So again, how much? Well, TSLL, it was actually down further, but I was too slow, and I was able to sell a put though when it was at 8.33 at the time. 15.97% out of the money. Now it's 16% out of the money. The delta on this put though was 0.16, pretty good delta. Premium per share 15 cents, $15 total. And again, that yielded approximately 180%. So what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is I sold a call, I sold a put, which is great. Because again, I have how many shares? I have 900 shares of TSLL with a cost basis of $17.22. When I have a cost basis of $17.22 and I sell calls with a strike at $10, of course I don't want to get assigned, because that would be a loss of capital. And I don't want to lose any capital. In fact, I'm either going to be capital flat or I'm going to get capital gains. That's the plan, at least. But we'll see. So there's 2 things that can happen now. Again, both of these expire Thursday, by the way, April 17th. So what could happen? Well, TSLL, it could go up, way up above 10, say to $12. If that happens, I will roll this call into next week, collect an additional premium, and see how that week progresses. Also, if that happens, this $7 put, this will expire worthless. And again, I'll get my collateral back. Collateral back on that is only $700 though, so it's not, anything crazy. And then the other scenario is, or one of the other scenarios is, TSLL goes down to like $5, right? Which is great for the call, right? Because then that expires worthless. $10 call, obviously, it's way under 10. I'm not in danger of selling my shares. But this put, what about the put? Well, again, this put could be assigned. I could be buying another 100 shares at $7. Which, do I want that to happen? again, I'll debate that at the time. So if I don't, I could just roll this into the next week, hopefully, and let TSLL recover. But, we can decide. So what's the best case scenario? The best case scenario is TSLL lands in between the two, right? Under the $10 strike, above the $7 strike. So TSLL right now, it's at 840. So it is in the middle. If it stays in the middle, both of these contracts expire worthless. And that is my best case scenario. I am prepared for any scenario, of course, but that is the best case scenario because it's above the sold put strike, and it's below the sold call strike. Again, hopefully that makes sense. I'm trying to explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. All right. So that's what I did on TSLL yesterday. Obviously collected some more premium. Nvidia, I only have I have 300 shares left. They're all locked in on covered calls. So that is what it is. I have to let this play out. Like I said, I got aggressive because I want to get rid of these anyway, and their options change sucks. But I'm going to roll these as long as I can. And then when they get assigned, they get assigned. I don't care. All right, so that is what it is. And then we'll get rid of that tab. And then we'll eventually add the other tabs for the new, for UPRO and TQQQ. Probably UPRO at first. Okay, now let's talk about TNA. TNA, we got a lot in here. We got a lot inherited, a lot invested here. We have 500 shares. I know that shows 600, but 500 were called away, as you can see. But we have 500 shares. Cost basis $39.33. All right, keep that in mind. So yesterday was the 14th. Yesterday, the market was green. TNA was green. So I sold a call when it was at $22.70. I sold a call with a $25 strike price. That is 10% out of the money. Not as high as I wanted, to be honest. But, the premium just wasn't there at lower deltas. So I got this. This was a 0.18 delta. It did pay 23 cents per share or $23. And it annualized at 85%. Okay, that's pretty good. And then I got greedy. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sell one more call. It's a short week. I don't want to wait another day because if I trade today, then I have to probably go into the next week. So I did get a little greedy. Again, this could come back to bite me in the ass because I do like to do one. Well, it depends on how many shares too, but like with the amount of shares I have on TNA, one call per day would be sufficient. But I did sell two. So again, it was, in fact, the price was even lower when I did this call, but I did go a little further out of the money. I did a 26 strike. It was 14.89% out of the money. And it was an under 10 delta, 0.09 delta, but it only paid 11 cents, which was $11 total. And that yielded me approximately 40%. So again, I wanted to do, I call it scatter-de-doo. Some call it ladder. I want to, ladder the strike prices up. So right now, as of the close, one is 10% out of the money. The other is 14% out of the money. What is the scenario that I want here? The best case scenario for me is TNA closes at $24.98. I'm not saying 99. That's way too close to assignment. But you get my drift. Obviously, if it's that close, I'm going to roll it. But, the best case scenario is really it stays around 24, and then I don't have to roll it. If it's Thursday and it's 3:50 p.m. and they're at $24.99, I'm rolling this freaking 25. You damn sure. Damn skippy I am. I ain't risking that. So, plus you have the after hours at risk too. So yes, the best case scenario is it closes $24 or below. Why 24? Because I want some recovery. I want TNA to recover. Right now, TNA is at $22.62. So again, let's see how that plays out. We saw the pre-market TNA was red. So, we could have a red day today. We just don't know. But again, I have how many shares? 500 just sitting around with a crappy cost basis. But I'm not just going to let them sit there. I'm going to make money on those shares while they sit there. And of course, by the way, I do have a pending put. This put is at a $15 strike. It is now 33% out of the money. I could have closed it yesterday for about, I think it was 5 cents, which equals to $5. But you know what I said? I said, screw you. All right, I'm keeping my $5. If it gets down to 2 cents, or a penny, obviously, then I'll do it. But for now, you know what? I'm feeling confident in that. I feel like it's zero chance it's going below 15. Of course, with the tariff war, I should not say that, but you get what I'm saying. I feel pretty good about just leaving that. Obviously I have money fronted for that $1,500 that I could use, but hey, it is what it is. We could just leave it because I want to earn the full 32. Once I make the premium, yeah, I want to earn it all. But yeah, obviously if I have an opportunity to close it early and it makes sense, I will. But and I did yesterday. I just didn't do it. So if TNA gets red today, again, who cares? I got 33% cushion here. So that one I'm not worried about at all. So that probably will just expire worthless. But yeah, these two, again, let's just hope TNA doesn't have a run and it goes way up above 25, above 26. Obviously, if it does, what's going to happen is I'm going to roll both of these contracts into the next week. And then, if TNA just keeps going up and it never comes back, I'm just going to have to keep rolling these as long as I can. And eventually it will be assigned early unless I could somehow push the strike prices up. But that's the risk. That is the risk of selling covered calls. We all know that from dealing with YieldMax. But obviously I'm doing it on my own via a triple leveraged index fund, right? Okay. So that's my options update for the day. Again, that was just Monday. Today, what am I going to do? Again, probably not much. I'm in the office. Office days are super freaking busy. But if I do anything, well, actually, again, I may, depending on the feedback that I get, I may just update you at the end of each video regardless, right? Regardless. And just so you guys can understand, if you are interested in learning about options, it sometimes does help to see what other people are doing on a daily basis. All right. So I guess that's it. I guess I'll end it there. So as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, obviously. This video is for fun and entertainment. Let's go to TNA to see where it's at right now. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you were entertained. If not, we will... Oh, TNA's green. See? Now it's green. Hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, come back tomorrow and I will be a little more entertaining, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. Of course, if you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. It goes a long way, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. And yeah, that's it. Outside of that, I got nothing, man. So I guess it's keyword time. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you gotta say the keyword. What's the keyword? What's the keyword? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. How about we have some fun with it? And most of the YieldMax funds, we saw the holdings. What are they? They are scatter-doo-doo. So today's keyword, if you made it this far in the video and you would like to prove it, you have to type in scatter-dee-doo. You could do scatter-dee-doo-doo or scatter-dee-doo-dah. I'll leave that up to you. Or you could just do scatter-dee-doo. All right, guys, if you made it this far, for real, you are a legend. And I just wanted to say thank you very much. I do greatly appreciate it. All right. And again, I'm sorry for combining the videos now. But again, I had to just make a decision. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to do a video a day. I'm not going to go crazy, worrying about this, that, the other thing. It is what it is. My channel, it's still growing, not to the extent that it was when I was posting more. But again, it was being a bit much with life, between work and, again, with baseball, with the sports now, forget it. And now my son, he's still got the full cast on. It's coming off next week, but it's just not easy. So one video a day, I think, is plenty, to be honest. But yeah, I'm combining, obviously, some of stuff with the YieldMax. Eventually, my plan is my daily video is going to be more than just YieldMax, right? I just do YieldMax because that's what you guys like. Obviously, I'd prefer to just talk about my options trades, but nobody gives a crap about that. I mean, some of you do, which I appreciate, But most people, they don't have time to trade options. They don't want to learn options, and that's why they like YieldMax. And I get that. So that's why I cover YieldMax daily. So until the next big fund comes out, or there's like a big request for options trading, updates, then, it is what it is for now. All right, I just went on a rambling rant there. But anyway, guys, for real, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. I will talk to you tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow. You're only a day away.